meeting of the Ames Zoning Board of Adjustment of Wednesday, October 26, 2022. The Zoning Board of Adjustment is a quasi-judicial board created by the City of Ames. The board's purpose is to decide on applications for home occupation permits, special use permits, exceptions and variances to the zoning ordinance, variances, oh my gosh, applications for conditional use permits in the floodplain, requests for reasonable accommodation because of a handicap, and appeals of decisions of the zoning enforcement officer. As a board of the city, we welcome all testimony. We make our decisions based on the facts and evidence as allowed under city code and presented in open meeting. Testimony before the board must be given under oath or affirmation. If the proceedings become lengthy, we may ask that testimony be focused on new facts or evidence not already presented. We ask that you come to the microphone if you wish to speak, so that your testimony will be audible and may be recorded. Before speaking, please complete an orange information card and hand it to the recording secretary. I believe those are outside, right outside the door, or right on the stand right here. When you are testifying, please address your remarks to the board. We ask that the proceedings be orderly. The Zoning Board of Adjustment is an independent volunteer board of citizens. We are not part of the city administration. We are served in our efforts by Jane Chang, Assistant City Attorney, Eloise Solstrom and Ray Anderson, City Planners, Natalie Reckemeyer, Recording Secretary. The order of proceedings for each application will be as follows. First, an oral statement summarizing the issues and procedural steps will be presented by the staff. Second, testimony and evidence will be presented by the applicant. Third, testimony may be heard from any members of the audience who wish to speak in support of or in opposition to the appeal. And next, the board will give the applicant and the city staff an opportunity to present concluding summaries and arguments. And finally, the board will discuss issues and evidence and come to a decision. We had a request to delay item number 3 on the agenda, which is a request for an appeal of 3207 Oakland, parcel number 0905425050 from a decision of the zoning enforcement officer regarding encroachment of a structure within the front yard. Do we need to have a motion to delay it? Okay. I will take a motion to delay the meeting. The statement from the Planning and Housing Director is that it needs to be within 45 days.
Move delay till the November 9th meeting?
Yes.
That is a move by
Bowers.
and second by Schneider. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, opposed, same sign. Okay, now on to the approval of the minutes. Oh, sorry, the motion is declared approved. Do we roll call? Do we need to do a roll call for the motion? We're fine, okay, sorry. Okay. Approval of the minutes of the meeting of July 13, 2012.
Gotta be you
Yeah,
two.
we were
weren't
not here.
here.
2022.
Oh, 2022, not 2012.
Yeah.
Move approval.
Second.
Approval by Bauer, second by
Zener.
Seen her.
Zener. All those in favor say aye.
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 It doesn't matter. They can't.
Yeah, you'll have to vote next time for the minutes.
Because we need 3.
You need 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pat's not here. It's just table.
We're tabling the matter until the next meeting. So we have quorum for that because Chet and I have to
Stay.
abstain from voting since we were not here. Okay. The next item on the agenda is a request for an exception for a minor area modification at 821 Northwestern, parcel number 0903425 040 to allow an entrance deck within the front yard setback for a non-conforming property.
Good evening. Oh, let's zoom out. All right. This request is for the property at 821 Northwestern Avenue. It is, the property is occupied by a one-story, 680 square foot, single-family home. And it's located on a 4,180 square foot lot that backs up to the Union Pacific Railroad line. The property is surrounded by single-family homes of similar age, and it's located within the urban core residential medium density zoning district, which allows single-family homes as a permitted use. Both the lot size, so the property is here, and you can see how these properties vary in lot size, and as you go toward 9th Street. And I'll come back to some of the features of that area a little bit later. Both the lot size and the front setback are non-conforming. Non-conforming lots may be utilized consistent with underlying zoning standards. And for homes and UCRM, the front setback requirement's 25 feet. This particular property at 821 has a front setback of approximately 16 feet 9 inches. You can see that this setback is much greater than that setback or that setback. And then here, this also is non-conforming at that corner. So there's, it shares its non-conforming front setback status with the properties immediately adjacent. The home currently includes concrete front entrance landing that is deteriorated and needs replacement. You can also see it's settled, so it's at the wrong height at the threshold. It's approximately 2 feet by 3 feet, not exactly, but that's rounding off to make it easy to describe. The property owner, who's here tonight, wishes to expand the landing slightly to make it more versatile and to accommodate a minimum amount of seating area. He proposes a 6 foot by 8 foot deck at a height of 30 inches constructed over the existing concrete landing and steps. The front yard setback between the steps and the sidewalk would be reduced to 7.5 feet if you're counting the steps also. Sometimes they're not counted. The addition of a deck over 24 inches in height is considered an architectural feature. And architectural features are described in our zoning code as structures which protrude from the building facade at the building entrance and which have an open design such as porches, pergolas, stoops, porticos, or decks. So it's a feature of the front facade. It embellishes the house. And typically such architectural features are allowed to project as much as 8 feet into a setback. However, in situations with a non-conforming setback, the allowance to project into the front setback may only be granted as a minor area modification under section 29.1506. There's no maximum projection limitation in the review criteria. Rather, determination of appropriateness is a consideration of the context and details of the request in relation to the property. I'm just going to highlight the conclusions of the findings for you, and then we can go into any questions you might have. So one thing I did want to mention is the character of the block in this area changes significantly right in this area. What happens, you can see that all of these homes here are oriented north-south. as is typically done in this part of town, and as older development. It's a grid system of streets. However, Northwestern Avenue goes at this angle to the northwest, as its name implies. And rather than the homes going north-south at this point at 821, the homes here are parallel to the street, as is this commercial building. And the lots are very small in size, so there's not a lot of room to necessarily have built it in this configuration. These lots are much more deep. But the house was built at the same time period as the other houses in the area in 1925. So it's not a new house. This is how it was built initially in relationship to the street. Because the lot size and nonconforming setback are existing and cannot be corrected, the zoning code allows the extension of an architectural feature into the front setback as a minor area modification under section 29.1506. The new deck will be beneficial to the health, safety, and welfare of the residents. The requested exception is for an entrance deck, which is much smaller than could be allowed if the deck was only 24 inches in height. The size of the deck also fits the scale of the house. The exception is in conformance with section 29.1506, parentheses 4D 1, 2, and 3. And the property owner is not proposing any change in the use nor other activity that would not be permitted in the zoning district. The applicant's request conforms to items in the zoning ordinance for which an exception may be granted. It also conforms to criteria that have been established in the ordinance for minor area modifications extending into the front yard setback. The zoning code allows an exception for a minor area modification to enable the applicant to add an architectural feature at the front entrance, even though the house setback is non-conforming. The entrance deck is approximately sized to accommodate a minimum amount of seating without overwhelming the front facade of the house, which is only 34 feet wide. This shows the new proposed deck on the front of the house. All obligations to comply with applicable laws or regulations are not affected by this proposed modification and are not being considered with this application. Public notification was made to the neighbors. A sign was placed on the property and a notice was published in the newspaper. So our recommendation as planning and housing staff is that there is an ability for the ZBA to grant a minor area modification exception to non-conforming lots, as previously discussed, for architectural features. And the applicant's request for an exception for a minor area modification is appropriate given the size constraints and character of the area, is highlighted in the findings of fact. A 6-foot by 8-foot entrance deck is the smallest deck that will accommodate any seating, up to 2 chairs, without obscuring the doorway entrance. A 6-foot by 8-foot deck also is the right size to not overwhelm the front facade of the home. So based on the findings of fact, the Department of Planning and Housing recommends that the Zoning Board of Adjustment act in accordance with Alternative 1, allowing an exception for a minor area modification to allow an entrance deck within the front yard setback for a non-conforming property at 821 Northwestern Avenue. And I will note that if the exception is approved, the applicant must record approval of the modification in the office of the Story County Recorder in order to make the approval effective. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Does anybody have any questions for staff?
Okay. Would the applicant wish to speak?
Go over to the
Over,
podium.
over here, yes.
The big podium.
The podium over here.
The podium.
The-
Oh, that. Oh.
You gotta-
And after you speak, if you can fill out the information card and give it to Natalie over here, that would be great.
Okay. I just, the reason I wanted the deck.
Wait, sorry, 1 second. Can you please state your name and address?
Oh, sure. My name is Jerome Baumgartner, and I'm the owner of 821 Northwestern.
And do you swear to tell the truth?
What?
Do you swear to tell the truth?
Yes, I just wanted to say that the reason I wanted the deck was that I never did like that porch, the one that is right now, the old porch that Louise had. I always had a hard time getting into the front of the house, like a refrigerator. You know, they go out. And same with like a stove. Just had a hard time getting the delivery people to deliver because that porch is so small to begin with. And so I tried a couple years ago, to get this firm down in Des Moines. It's called Leitzel. They make precast concrete steps. Well, they didn't want anything to do with Ames. I think because my project was too small. And also because I asked them if they would basically get rid of the old porch, because there's something why I'm not understanding why why the porch is settling. It didn't settle until about, I'd say, 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know if it's because of the rain or because some rodents got underneath there and settled it. So I'd like to get rid of the old porch, and then I proposed a new deck made out of wood. It's not going to be concrete, so that the tenants could enjoy the outdoors during the summer, especially because the house faces west, and I mean east directly, so the sun wouldn't get to them. And that's what I proposed. It's not a big deck, but I think it's good enough so that, like we said, you can sit 2-3 chairs there. There's only one person tenant there right now anyway. So
Thank you.
any further question?
Does anyone on the board have any questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you.
Sure, you're welcome.
And seeing as there's no one in the public, I will not open the public hearing. We can have a discussion if anybody has anything to discuss or any questions for staff. If not, I will take a motion.
Do we have to make the motion? I say we allow the minor area modification exception based on the findings of facts in here, as it is appropriate for the property based on the other variances. So based on alternative 1.
Second.
Roll call. That was a motion by Schneider, second by Zener. Roll call.
Aye.
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 The motion is declared approved. Any person desiring to appeal this decision to a court of record may do so within 30 days after the filing of this decision. And that was the last item on the agenda. So I always forget, do we have to take a motion to
Yeah.
adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
That was a motion by Schneider, second by Bowers. Do we need to roll call for that? Roll
No.
call? No? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
All in favor, give